Dear participants, welcome to the Learning Mobility in Frames of Erasmus Plus program. You have received a unique and great opportunity to immerse yourself into non-formal education experience and also create international and intercultural network. In this video, we would like to give you detailed information about one of the very important processes of each learning mobility, which is called reimbursement process. But before we'll go into details, I just would like to underline that each organization has its unique set of rules and requirements based on the requirements set by national agency, tax services, and internal regulation of organizations. So even if you participated in learning mobilities before with different organizations in different countries and you met different requirements regarding reimbursement, I would ask you now to focus on our requirements and regulations. So let's go. First of all, before each learning mobility, we always provide in a Facebook group a PDF document called Reimbursement Step by Step. In this document, in details explained what are the required documents, how the procedure goes, how do you need to prepare and upload your travel documents. So before we can start, I will kindly ask you to go and check Facebook group, to open this document, to go through it, and to prepare your travel documents the way it is explained in the provided PDF. Because in this case, the process will be way easier for all the parties involved. During the learning mobility, each national team will be separately invited to join the responsible person working on the reimbursement. When it will be your time to go and do reimbursement, we will ask you to prepare in advance all the required documents the way they are mentioned in the reimbursement step-by-step PDF file. To summarize once again what you need to prepare when it's your turn to come to do the reimbursement, you need to bring all the travel documents that exist on paper. So you don't need to print electronic tickets. But if you have received your tickets on paper, then please bring original ones with you. You also need to bring your travel IDs. So if you're a citizen of the country, travel ID is enough. If you, for example, study in this country and you have residential permit, then we'll ask you to bring your passport and residential permit. As a part of reimbursement process, you will be asked to fill out the reimbursement form. I will now explain in details what are the information that you need to put in the form, how you need to fill it out, and I will ask you when you will be working on filling out the form to be very much focused, because if you cross something, if you cross anything, if you made a mistake, you will need to redo the whole form. So let's take a closer look on the form together. First of all, you need to write your first name and last name. Please do it exactly as it's in your passport. Then you need to provide your ID or passport number. If you give us your ID, then please provide your ID number. Not personal, but ID number. The same as passport. If you give us your passport to make a scan, then please write passport number. Then you need to write name of the organization. Name of your sending organization, not ours, your sending organization from your home country. Then residing in city, town, country. You need to write where you live, not the place where the learning mobility is taking place, but where you live. Also, if your sending organization is registered in a capital, but you live in another town or village, please write your town or your village, so where you live. And don't forget to also write not only city, but country as well. Then, amount of the reimbursement. Please, for now, leave it empty. You will come to the responsible person who is working with your travel documents and filling out all the forms. You will check together that the amount is correct and that you provided all the travel tickets and all the amounts are mentioned correctly. After this, after you checking them together, you approve the amount, and the last thing that you do, you write this full amount for your reimbursement. Please don't be in a hurry. First, check the travel documents together with the responsible person, receive approval of your amount, and then the last thing that you do, you write the reimbursement amount. After this, you're free. Then there is a very important sentence. Furthermore, I agree that the refund amount cannot be reimbursed until I provide the required travel documents, as well as the required dissemination result, and filling out the European Commission survey. What does it mean to you? It means that to complete reimbursement process, our team needs to receive all the travel documents from your site. For now, most likely you don't have boarding passes for the way back. If you don't have priority flight, usually check-in is available 24 hours before your flight. This is totally fine. You don't need to provide it right now, but as soon as you do your check-in, you will need to send us your boarding passes, as well as any other tickets that you're planning to buy or you cannot provide right now. You will need to send all the tickets before we'll be able to proceed with the reimbursement further. If you're failing in providing these documents, it postpones process for you and for your national team. So please do it as soon as possible. Regarding dissemination and European Commission survey, I will give you detailed information in the next video. Next part of the form is about the money transfer, so about the bank account information. You once again write your first name and last name, as I mentioned earlier, exactly the same as it mentioned in your travel documents, in your ID or in a passport. And then, as it mentioned in a step-by-step reimbursement presentation, you need to select one bank account for the whole national team. Please pay attention. It shouldn't be separate accounts for each participant. You need to select one. It can be either account of one of you or account of your sending organization. It doesn't matter. The most important thing, it should be one account. After you decide with your national team to which account the whole amount will be transferred, you write account holder. Pay attention. If it's not your account, it shouldn't be your name. It should be the name of organization or person to whom the whole amount will be transferred. So account holder, IBAN, and BIC or SWIFT. It's the same, just named differently in different countries. Exceptions for this part: only participants from Germany. Participants from Germany will provide their personal bank accounts for the transfer. For all the other national teams, please select one bank account to which all the transfer for the whole group will be done. Next part of the form is a sentence that I cannot claim any further payments from the organization. What does it mean? It means that during the reimbursement process, you, together with a responsible person working on your travel documents, you provide all the tickets and all the information regarding your travel. You calculated the whole amount, you agreed on this amount, you write this amount with your hand in the form. After which, this is the amount that will be proceeded for your reimbursement. You don't change your mind in a week or in a month saying, I would like to replace this ticket with this ticket. I bought extra ticket here and extra coffee there. So after you worked on the form, you agreed on the amount, this is your final amount. And no other further payments can be done after reimbursement was proceeded. After which you just need to fill out date and place and put your signature. At the bottom of the form, there is a box with information in German. Please don't write there anything. This box is not for you. Reimbursement team, while checking your documents and checking your forms, will fill out those boxes. For the transparency of the reimbursement process and also for you to make it easier to monitor how it's going, are there any delays, are there any documents missing, the following online table was created. Let's take a closer look how it is organized, how it's working, how it might be helpful for you. Each table is separate for each national team. In the table you can see names of all the participants of your national team. Then for each participant the travel journey with the mentioned means of transportation. And also for each participant there are comments if there is anything missing. For example, if you haven't provided your boarding pass, in front of your name there will be a note that boarding pass for this flight is missing or tickets for this train is needed to be provided. So you can always check if there are any documents missing from any of participants of your national team, and if something is missing, it postpones process for the whole team. So you can use this table to organize the national team to work smoothly and to help to run the process smoothly for all the parties. Also, in this table, you can always check if dissemination was completed fully by each representative of your national team and if a European Commission survey was filled out on time and correctly by each participant. This also influences the reimbursement process, so you also will need to take a look if everyone have provided dissemination and the European Commission survey on time. Hello dear participants. In this part I will explain you in details regarding the dissemination process and about the European Commission survey. But before we start, I would just like to underline that since you are now participants of Erasmus Plus Learning Mobility, from your side contribution is also expected in terms of spreading information and raising awareness on the topic, and also letting other people know about the Erasmus Plus Learning Mobility opportunity. That's why dissemination is implemented in each and every learning mobility program in frames of Erasmus Plus program. Let's start with dissemination. What does it mean, how it goes, what you need to provide? Dissemination consists of two parts. First part, each of you do individually. Second part, you do with your national team. Now let's focus on the first part, individual part. First stage of dissemination requires your personal contribution in spreading awareness about Erasmus Plus opportunity and raising awareness about the topic. To do this, you will be asked to either make a post on social media or answer the questions provided by your facilitator. Regarding the post, we will ask you to use the picture made in frames of the project. So not just a random picture from the bar or from your outside activities, something related to the sessions, something related to the activities that took place in the frame of your learning mobility. So you use a picture, and you also will be asked to write a description to your post. In the description, you should tell information and spread information regarding the topic of the project, regarding the European values that you are gaining through this international and intercultural experience. The volume of your text should be at least 10 sentences, which is equal to approximately 20 lines. You can also add relevant hashtag. You can also mention our social media in your post, tag us. It's always welcomed. You can provide your post either in English or in your national language. It doesn't matter. And it's also up to you which platform to use. You can make your dissemination post on the Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's up to you. Within your national team, you will need to decide who will be responsible for making posts and who will be answering questions. Proportion must be 50-50. So if there are 6 people in your team, then it means 3 people answering the questions and 3 people making posts on social media. If you are 7 participants, then it's 3 and 4, and you need to negotiate and provide this information for your facilitator. Those 3 people, for example, answering the questions, those 4 people will provide a post on social media. Regarding the questions, you will receive these questions at the end of the project from your facilitator. You will get 3 questions. They are about the program, about the topic of the project, and they require your personal opinion, your insight, your reflection from the whole experience. We will ask you to provide wide answers and detailed answers, not just yes, no, it was nice. Each question must consist of at least 7 sentences. It can be more than 7, but it can't be less than 7. Please, while preparing your answers, pay attention, because if you provide answer 4 or 5 sentences, unfortunately, it will not be accepted by the reimbursement team, because they will check your dissemination and if it fits all the requirements. So if you're working on the questions, make sure that each question consists of at least 7 sentences and related to the topic. And of course, sentences not like yes, no, it was fine, but long and detailed sentences regarding your experience. So this was about the first part of dissemination, individual part that each of you will do. You decide within your national team, half of the group, half of the team is doing post on social media, half of the group is providing answers to the questions, but each of you will be involved into the first part of dissemination. Second part of dissemination, you perform with your national team after the project ends and you come back to your home country. For the second part of dissemination, we will ask you to organize a workshop with your local community to spread information regarding the topic, to share experience and knowledge that you received in the frames of this learning mobility. For this workshop, we need a confirmation that it was really organized, and we will ask you to send us a picture from the workshop. Please pay attention what this picture should consist of to meet all the requirements. On the picture from your workshop, we need to see at least one representative from national team. It means that we don't ask you to travel all together to the capital and organize the workshop there. We understand that you very likely live in different parts of your country, so you negotiate this moment with your national team. You decide for whom it will be the easiest and most convenient to organize a workshop. You decide who is the responsible person, and the rest of the team might help with preparing some materials or presentation for the workshop. So on the picture there is at least one representative from national team and at least 6 people that are not part of this learning mobility. So you can't just come to another national team and make a picture with them. There must be 6 people that were not involved in the learning mobility you took part in. You can do workshop for your colleagues at work, for your university mates, friends, relatives, people from your local community. It's not limited anyhow. You choose people with whom you would like to organize a workshop, with whom you would like to disseminate information. You can invite more than 6 people for your workshop. The most important thing, it must be at least 6 people on this workshop, on this photo. I will also like to underline that workshop, of course, can take part at home, at the university, in a park, in a bar, but it still should be formal. So if you're doing workshop in a bar, I will ask you not to provide a picture with the alcohol visible there, or like with people smoking on a background. Please keep in mind that those pictures will be used for dissemination about the Erasmus+, about the European values, about the topic, so please provide an appropriate picture. And the last but still very important requirement for the picture of your workshop, the name of the learning mobility of the project you participated in must be visible. So the person who is organizing the workshop can either hold a paper flip chart with the name of the topic written there, or there can be a laptop with the name of the project of the topic on the screen. Please make sure that the name is easily readable. It shouldn't be the laptop staying somewhere on the background and you need to zoom in, and when you zoom in to read the name, there are only pixels. Make sure that the name is easily and correctly visible. So, if to summarize, you organize a workshop with your national team after the end of the project. You provide us a picture, the confirmation that workshop really took place. On this picture, we should have at least one representative of your national team, at least 6 people that were not part of learning mobility, so new people to whom you disseminated this information, and the name of the topic written the way it's easy to read. It can either be paper or laptop. The most important, name of the topic. Recommended time frame to provide dissemination results for your national team is 2 weeks after the project. We would suggest to do it as soon and as quick as possible, because otherwise, if your dissemination results are postponed and we are waiting for them, it means that we, organizing team, cannot proceed with your reimbursement further, and it postpones the process for us, it postpones the process for the whole national team and for the whole group. So, recommended time frame is 2 weeks. You can do it shorter, but if you take longer time, then please take in consideration that the whole process will be postponed. And also, if you have any questions regarding the reimbursement process, regarding the dissemination, you can always contact the reimbursement team. But please also don't expect that your reimbursement will be done immediately, the same day or the next day after you provide the dissemination results. There are still procedures behind this process that the reimbursement team need to go through the whole documentation, through your dissemination results. They need to take a closer look and check and get an approval. So after you provided your travel tickets, dissemination and European Commission survey, it will still take some time to do the transfer of your reimbursement. And now I would like to take a closer look on the filling out European Commission survey. So receiving results of your European Commission survey is a mandatory part of the reimbursement process, and without the ready survey, we are not able to proceed with your reimbursement further. I would like now to bring your attention to some questions that will be part of the survey that you need to pay close attention and not to make any mistakes. So there will be a question what kind of learning mobility you participated in. It could be training course or youth exchange. So please pay attention which learning mobility type you are choosing. In frames of your learning mobility, you will receive the detailed explanation regarding the Youth Pass tool, Youth Pass certificate, and also at the end of each learning mobility you receive the Youth Pass. So, there will be a question in a European Commission survey, have you received an explanation? You will receive this explanation from your facilitator, so please choose yes. There also will be a question if you have received your Youth Pass. Maybe you participated before with another organizations in another learning mobility projects and you have received your Youth Pass certificate on paper. Our organization provides Youth Passes in electronic form as a PDF. I would like to underline that both options are equally valid. So the fact that you haven't received paper at the end of your learning mobility doesn't mean that you haven't received Youth Pass. The moment your facilitator will upload your Youth Passes, you have received them. So please don't get confused. The fact that you don't have a paper doesn't mean that you don't have a Youth Pass. Electronicals is equally valid to the paper one. You can always print it if you want. So when there will be a question, have you received your Youth Pass? Check yes. There also will be a question if the activities took part online or offline. You participated in learning mobility offline, in person. Activities of your learning mobility took place in person. So please pay attention and check offline. There also will be part with your feedback. Please take this part seriously, because it's not only just for you, this part also will be very closely observed and evaluated, not only from our side as our organization, but also from the national agency. And if we unexpectedly receive any complaints that were not addressed during the learning mobility, or we have received any negative comments that also haven't been addressed in the course of learning mobility, just afterwards, out of nowhere, out of fun, we will proceed with them. We will need to get an explanation to national agency, and it will postpone the whole process. If you have any questions, any problems, any concerns, please address them directly to organizing team during the participation in learning mobility. Don't wait until you will get your European Commission survey, because in case you address it in person, we can immediately on place proceed with your questions and concerns. If there are no questions, no concerns, no problems during the participation, and afterwards you mention some problems or some negative comments in your survey, it's still possible. We will deal with it, we will proceed with it, we will evaluate it, and we'll explain to national agency. But you need to understand, because of the quite long processes, it will postpone the whole reimbursement process for us and for you. We will not be able to proceed with your reimbursement further until we clarify negative feedback or complaints or problems with the national agency. In this case, reimbursement process can be postponed up to 1 year. So, any concerns, any questions, any problems, please address them in person during the learning mobility, during your participation. And again, pay attention to the feedback part, take it seriously, and take your time to fill out with the correct and relevant information. And as I mentioned earlier, you can always send an email to the reimbursement team to get updates regarding the reimbursement process. But before sending this email, I would highly recommend you to first check the online table that I also explained to you previously. In this table, you can always see the most updated information regarding the process. You can always check if something is missing from your side in terms of tickets, in terms of dissemination or European Commission survey, and you can also see if there is someone from your team who is postponing the process for the whole group. So first, check that online table, make sure that there is nothing missing from your side or from your team, negotiate and organize it with your team first. Afterwards, you can always write an email to get updates on the process. To summarize everything that was said previously, I will kindly ask you to check the information in both parts of video regarding the reimbursement process, dissemination and European Commission survey, and also take a closer look on the PDF with step-by-step explanation about the reimbursement process. Through these sources, you get in all the detailed information, all the answers to all your possible questions for the process. Before coming to the learning mobility, please take this time, go through the sources, receive this information, prepare documents, and enjoy easy and smooth process of the reimbursement, dissemination, and filling out the European Commission survey. Thank you very much for your attention.